Hey YouTube, I'm back with another MTG Arena gameplay video, and I wanted to show you all some of the progress I've been making as I climb my way up the constructed standard ladder. During my last showcase, I was in bronze tier since the season just reset in January, but I've been doing some grinding in the background, and as you can see here, I've made it all the way up to gold tier. So today I wanted to show you all my rank up match into gold tier 3. But before we jump in, I made a couple changes to my Orzhov Vampires deck that I think has improved its gameplay, so I'll show you all my edited deck first. So before I get into my deck, quick shout out to one of my commenters, Mikey Moo, who's been super helpful with a lot of good feedback in the comments. He's the one who told me that I could actually show my decks in spoiler mode rather than in list mode. And that's been super helpful for me for deck building. As long as I've been playing Magic, I had no idea that I could do that. So good shout out to Mikey Moo. Now let's get into my deck build. So my overall deck is still the same. My win condition still revolves around summoning Vito, the Fanatic of Aclazotz, and sacrificing as much as possible to activate Vito's abilities and gain blood tokens to sacrifice through health gain. So if you want to take a look at my original deck, you can always check back to my Orzhov Vampire showcase, which I'll link in the video here. But my changes are specifically just increasing Vito from 2 copies to 3 copies, increasing my Rite of Oblivion from 3 copies to 4 copies, and taking out the Bloodletter of Aclazotz altogether. So since Vito is my win condition, I wanted to increase my odds of encountering him as much as possible, and I felt like I wasn't really doing that with only 2 copies. I increased the Rite of Oblivion from 3 to 4, because I felt like I wasn't able to get enough disruption on my opponent's game plan, or stop them from disrupting mine. The Rite of Oblivion's ability allows me to sacrifice a permanent, and I can exile a target non-land permanent of the opponent's for a white and a black mana. So it works towards my own game plan while also disrupting the opponent's. It's a super good card, and it's really one of my only disruption kill spell cards. So I think I need it as much as possible. And then finally, I took out my Bloodletter because I felt like it was as great a card as it was. He wasn't really feeding my win condition. He allows me to do double damage for any health the opponent loses, and as great as that was, I felt like he was just kind of getting in the way of tangentially sacrificing. It worked towards a lot of health loss, but not really for sacrifice. So I elected to remove him from my deck altogether. I think my deck is running a lot smoother with these changes, and is way more synergistic and potent. So let's go ahead and jump into today's match so you can see how the deck looks. So jumping into today's match, we're going to be playing against Durhine, who's going to be using white humans. So white human armies against my Orzhov Vampires. And just right off the bat, looking at our opening hand, we've got 3 Lunarch Veterans. Not really the best hand to start with, so we're going to mulligan. And I'm liking this hand a bit better. There's a better variety of cards, even though I'm not really starting off with the best lands, but I'm still going to run with it. Okay, we've got a swamp, so that evens us out. And I'm going to start with my Lunarch Veteran. He's a great card to really get my health gain running and just getting more blood tokens on the field. So it's a great starter. Okay, and Durhine's putting out his Knight of Dawn's Light. I can't really do too much against that, so I'm going to go ahead and set up my Tarrian's Journal. And this card's going to come in handy so much throughout this conflict. So we'll see. We'll just keep an eye on it to see how that really runs. His 3rd land here, and he's going to swing with Knight of Dawn's Light. Now, I'm not going to block with my Lunarch Veteran. I don't want to block with it because I want to keep it on the field right now to set up my health gain. So we're going to go ahead and let him swing, and he's going to go ahead and put up 1/1, so I'm going to take 3 damage. Throw down my Voldaren Estate, and I'm thinking about what I want to do here. I think the right strategy might just be to throw out the Ichor Drinker. Considering here, I want to see how I can spend my mana. Okay, so I'm going to throw out my Ichor Drinker, and then I'm going to use my Rite of Oblivion to get rid of his Knight of Dawn's Light. It's a little early, but I want to make sure that card isn't on the field. I'm going to go ahead and swing with my Lunarch Veteran and end my turn there. His 4th Plains, and this is where things start to get a little hairy. He's going to throw out his Intrepid Adversary, and I don't have any creatures right now that is going to be able to be a quick fix for this. So I'm thinking I'll probably put out my Welcoming Vampire, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw out my Ichor Drinker and its Incubate, and I'm going to use Tarrian's Journal to get a quick card draw off of it. We get a Plains, not exactly what we're looking for. I won't attack, and we're going to let him take it from here. Oh, and if things could not get any worse, he's got another Intrepid Adversary, buffing them up to 5/3, both of them with lifelink. I'm just going to go ahead and take the hit for one of them with my Lunarch Veteran and Welcoming Vampire, just to get one of them off the field. But that still leaves us with one 4/2 Intrepid Adversary, and not too much to speak of in terms of response. So I'm thinking I'll put out my Voldaren Bloodcaster, just to have a card on the field. And I'm also going to put out my Luminous Phantom to have a blocker. I'm going to end my turn there. He's going to go ahead and put out another Plains. He's going to go ahead and swing right off the bat. Thinking about how I want to react to this. What would be the best option? Should I... Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and let my Luminous Phantom take the hit. He's going to gain some health there. But my Voldaren Bloodcaster is sticking around, and this is actually a great card, the Sanguine Evangelist, so we're going to go ahead and throw her right out there. You can see, when she dies, or when she enters the battlefield, she creates a 1/1 black bat creature. So this is a great card for the Orzhov Vampires, because it allows me just to constantly have a cycle of creature tokens, or creatures on the field that I can sacrifice or block with. And so I'm evaluating my lands right now. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can create a blood token. I can't. I need 3 more. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just sacrificing off the bat with Tarrian's Journal. I was hemming and hawing about it for a second as to whether I should just let her take the hit from the Intrepid Adversary, but instead of that, I'm going to go ahead and just sacrifice her, get a blood token out of it, and get another bat token. And I'm drawing a Plains. Been drawing a lot of Plains, or a lot of lands, based on my Tarrian's Journal, which is actually not a bad thing, because it does allow me to get more mana, and it also allows me to get those lands out of the way and find the creatures that I'm really looking for. So card draw in this instance is never really a bad thing. I'm gonna swing with my Bloodcaster and end my turn. He's got another Plains on the field. That lone Intrepid Adversary, as intimidating as it is going to go ahead and go in and swing. I'm going to block with both of my bat tokens, and I'm thinking that's probably what he wanted me to do, so he can clear out my field a little bit. And yep, he's got an Adamant Will. That's going to give him a +2/+2 and Invincible. So he is going to take out my bat tokens, and it's just my Voldaren Bloodcaster staring him down. It was a nice move. I'm going to go ahead and compliment him on that. And now it's my turn again. I'm going to put out my Welcoming Vampire because she's really the only card that I have. And I'm thinking what I probably will do based off of that is take my Rite of Oblivion, and we're going to go ahead and sacrifice my blood token. But he's got plenty of tricks of his own sleeve as well. He's going to play his Loren's Escape, which is just going to give him hexproof and invincible, so I'm not really able to convert much with my Rite of Oblivion. Feels like I wasted a card there, but at the very least, we're getting him to use a lot of his spells and instants that would keep his creature safe in these instants. We're getting him to spend all of them, so that's definitely a good thing. He's going to swing again with his Intrepid Adversary, and I'm just going to go ahead and block with my Welcoming Vampire. I'm going to let her take the hit. And he's got another Loren's Escape, so that has not ended too well for my Welcoming Vampire. I was hoping to at least come out with a draw in that conflict, but at the very least I've got a blood token to work with. And his Intrepid Adversary is still standing strong on this field. No matter how many times I keep trying to destroy it, it keeps evading my grasp. Okay, we're drawing a Plains. Not the best card I need right now. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Voldaren Estate to create a blood token. Oh, no, I'm not. Even psyched myself out there. I'm going to use my blood token to draw a new card. And it's going to be a swamp. And this is where I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to put that down, create a new blood token, and then use Tarrian's Journal. So just thinking of ways to optimize my card draw, my mana usage, and my blood tokens here. Just a way to make sure I'm getting the most out of it. And I'm going to draw Vampire's Kiss, so finally not a land. And this is going to give me 2 life, create 2 blood tokens for me, so that's going to give me some fodder to either use on Tarrian's Journal or keep card draw. I'm going to go ahead and swing with my Bloodcaster, because I'm thinking I want to keep her on the field at this point. His Intrepid adversary has... Oh, and he's got another one. Exactly when I didn't need him to get another adversary. And now they're all at 6-4, and he's going to swing. You can see I'm losing health here, and you can see Durhein's health is just ballooning in the background. He's almost at 40. I'm going to draw a Lunarch Veteran, and I'm just going to throw him out onto the field. At the very least, he's going to give me some blocking power for now. I'm going to sacrifice a blood token with my Tarrian's Journal to initiate some card draw, and I've drawn a swamp, so I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice another blood token. Just trying to get some good cards here. We have the Preacher of the Schism, which is exactly the kind of card I needed. I'm going to gain a health off of that. And now his Intrepid adversary, at the very least, he is threatened to lose at least one of them. So that brings us back to where we were before. And he's got Touch of the Spirit Realm, exactly the card you didn't want to see. So he's going to exile my Preacher of the Schism, and he's just going to go ahead and swing with both of his Intrepid adversaries. I'm going to mitigate the damage by blocking with one with my Lunarch Veteran. Going to at least get a blood token out of this. And he's already at 46 health, and I'm barely hanging on here with 9 health. But I still think this game isn't over. We've got another Sanguine Evangelist. Again, a great card. I'm going to throw her right out. And I'm thinking I'm going to put my Luminous Phantom on the field. And I'll go ahead and sacrifice a bat. You know what? I'm actually going to sacrifice a Sanguine Evangelist. Get a bat. And I'm going to go ahead and get a blood token, as well as gain a little bit of health. Every little bit of health is going to help in this moment. We're going to sacrifice a blood token, get rid of my swamp here, and draw another card, and it's another Voldaren Bloodcaster. And this could actually work out pretty well. If I am able to block his Intrepid adversary, and maybe he doesn't have any more tricks up his sleeve, I can use a Voldaren Bloodcaster and the 2 bat tokens to take out one of those adversaries. Thinking about whether I want to swing here, and I will. Bring him down to 44, so I just want to chip away at his health as slowly as I can, even though it's really ballooning here. He's going to throw out an Ambitious Farmhand. Pretty solid card, very underrated. And right now he's got 2 6/4s and 1 4/4. And most of my creatures at this moment are just really good for blocking, and just really good for just stalling him out. So as you can see, I'm really just trying to slow down his tempo. I don't have the cards I really want right now to either drain his health or kill his creatures. So just slowing down the tempo as much as I can, and drawing as much as I can to get the cards that I need. I've got another Voldaren Estate, thinking about whether I want to play it, and I will, so I can keep creating blood tokens. And I'm going to swing with one of my Voldaren Bloodcasters again, still having that idea in mind to block with a Bloodcaster and a couple bat tokens to take out one of his adversaries. Going to swing back to him, and let's see what he's planning, what he thinks he wants to do here. He's thinking about it. And he's just going to swing with everyone. So he really wants to clear my field now. He's really trying to push and clear the field out of my tokens and of my low-cost creatures, so he can really start doing damage and just finishing me off. And really the issue I think he's having is the fact that he can't just get past my low-cost creatures. If anything, if he had something like Trample, this game might have already been over. So I'm going to block both of his Intrepid adversaries. Those are the ones that are going to be doing the most damage. And even though he's getting a lot of health off of that, and he's using Touch of the Spirit Realm to save his Intrepid adversary, and I think that actually might have ended up being a misplay for him. If anything, he might have wanted to get rid of my Voldaren Bloodcaster, just because she can be so problematic in the long run. It's going to come back now, and he's just going to throw out all of his mana to really buff up his creatures as much as possible. So we've got 2 8/6s in his Intrepid Adversaries, and a 6/6 in the Ambitious Farmhand. Not the best look right now. Again, if he had something like a Trample, this game might already be over. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get another blood token to summon to create my Bloodbat Summoners out of my Voldaren Bloodcasters, and this is where things I think are going to start to turn around for me, because at the start of my combat, every turn I can create 2 Bloodbat tokens. And you'll see in just a minute that the more creatures I have, the more difficult it is for him to actually continue his game plan. Okay, I'm going to throw out my Ichor Drinker. And again, this is what I was saying. He probably wanted to get rid of my Voldaren Bloodcaster, because if anything, having all of these Bloodbat Summoners and having all of these Bloodbat tokens is probably not going to be too good for him, since he can't already get past my horde of tokens. And as you can see, I've got 2/2 Bloodbat creatures, as well as my Bloodbat Summoners, who are 3/3 now. All of them are flying, so he can't really do too much about that. And I'm just going to swing with both Bloodbat Summoners, just to chip away at his health, just to keep chipping away, even though he's still got those 8/8s, or those 8/6s, excuse me. Okay, let's see what he's going to do on his turn now. Just thinking about it. And he's going to swing with his Ambitious Farmhand. I'm thinking what I can do here is just block with one of my bats. Not really too much I can do to finish it off without sacrificing a lot of creatures. So instead of my Blood Bat token, I'm just going to use my regular bat token to block. Gain a little bit of health off of that, and he's going to play his Enduring Angel. That's actually the last card we probably would have wanted to see, with Double Strike, and we've got Rite of Oblivion. Okay, so 1-1. One card he probably didn't want to see, to one card I definitely did not want to see right now. That was probably the only card that can really contend with the amount of flying creatures that I have right now. So we're just going to go right off the bat and use Rite of Oblivion to get rid of his Enduring Angel. I'm going to use my bat token as a sacrifice mechanism. I get a little bit of health off of that. And I'm going to go ahead and use Rite of Oblivion again just to get rid of his Intrepid Adversary. I don't think he has any more cards that's going to allow him to escape Rite of Oblivion or escape a kill spell. So I'm going to go ahead and just destroy it from now while I've got the mana. Again, just making the most of the mana that I've got. And from here, just thinking about whether I want to keep creating more blood tokens, and I do. And I'm going to go ahead and use Tarrian's Journal as well. Just hemming and hawing around it, but I'm going to go ahead and use it to go ahead and get some more card drawing. Okay, and a Preacher of the Schism. That's a great card for me to have. Coming back around to this game, and you can see I'm getting more and more blood tokens, more Bloodbat tokens, and more damage is finally starting to appear for him. So we're just chipping away at him now. He doesn't really have too many options. It seems like his game plan has really just gassed out at this point. Okay, he's got Denitha Benalia's Hope. So this is actually a really good card. First Strike, Life Link, and Vigilance. And she's a 7/7 right now with the Intrepid Adversary on the field, so she's definitely a heavy hitter. Okay, not reading too closely here. I'm thinking what I want to do is just block with 2 of the Bloodbat tokens to kill off his Ambitious Farmhand, and that's not going to work out too well for me. Because he's still got that 3 mana there, so he can definitely still use that to... Yep, and he's going to, just to transform it into the Seasoned Cathar, and that's going to take out both of my Bloodbat tokens, and with little consequence for him, and he's going to gain some health back since she's got Lifelink as the Seasoned Cathar. Okay, now coming right on into a Vito, so my game plan is now hit its pinnacle. And I'm just going to throw out my Preacher of the Schism as well, create a couple blood tokens because I've got plenty of vampires on the field to facilitate that from Voldaren Estate. Gonna go ahead and sacrifice one of my Ichor Drinkers here to really get Vito's effects, his abilities, activated. So gaining health off of that. Gonna sacrifice another blood token, because I don't need Tarrian's Journal right now. I've already got one on the field. Vito's gonna activate again. And I've got Rite of Oblivion, so I want to actually keep Rite of Oblivion. I'm gonna probably use it next turn, thinking on the Dinatha. And I'm only down to one more blood token, and you can see the versatility here. Even though I wasn't able to use my blood token as a sacrifice mechanism for Vito, it's still working out for me because I'm able to get a Bloodbat token out of it. So everything is being used at this moment here. Okay, coming into his turn, what is he planning on doing? He doesn't have too many options, I don't think. Yep, and he's just going to go ahead and go into his attack phase. And he's going to attack with a Seasoned Cathar and Dinatha Benalius Hope. And I think what I want to do is just let the bat hit, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Preacher of the Schism to take out his Cathar. I'm going to gain a lot of health off of that, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue for me. I've been swinging pretty consistently with my Bloodbat Summoners, and I can go ahead and add Vito and maybe my Luminous Phantom to that mix as well. So he's going to be losing a lot more health net compared to his gains. I'm going to go ahead and draw a Swamp. Not exactly what I want, but I'm going to throw it down. Thinking about his Intrepid Adversary, just appraising that creature to see maybe that's the one I want to get rid of, and I'm thinking it probably is. So I'm going to go ahead and hem and haw it with my Rite of Oblivion, thinking about how I can optimize. Gonna go ahead and use my Voldaren Estate to create a blood token, and let's do it again. So we're gonna go for our daily double here with the blood tokens. Now I'm gonna use Rite of Oblivion, or maybe not. Throw out my Ichor Drinker, and this is how I think I'm gonna optimize my play here. So Rite of Oblivion with Intrepid Adversary, use the Ichor Drinker's incubated state to start my Vito's activated abilities. And then from there, thinking about how I can continue to optimize. And instead, I'm actually just going to go straight for 2 Bloodbat tokens. I think the reason being is because we want to get rid of Dinatha, so what we're probably going to do is just allow 2 Bloodbat tokens to take the hit from her, and then we'll have the other 2 to just pick her off. And he's got another Enduring Angel. So it actually turns out it was a great thing that I saved my Rite of Oblivion, because we can just use my flashback Rite of Oblivion to just get rid of his Enduring Angel. All things considered, the Enduring Angel was probably the worst card he could have used against me in this deck. The best card for him, from his perspective. And luckily I've always had a Rite of Oblivion on hand just to get rid of her right off the bat, just to kill that. I'm going to use my Tarrian's Journal on my Sanguine Evangelist, go ahead and get my Vito's ability started. Going to get rid of his Enduring Angel, going to sacrifice one of my my regular bat tokens. Again, proccing Vito's ability. And we're going to create one more blood token with Voldaren Estate, finally getting to that 3rd Vito ability to create a 4/3 Vampire Demon. And as you can see, he really just doesn't have too many options left. My creatures are really starting to pile up. Don't have any blood tokens, but we've got plenty of creatures to swing with. I'm going to swing with my Bloodbat Summoners, Vito, and add my Luminous Phantom to the mix here. He doesn't really have too much to say. He's got Dinatha, and that's really probably going to be his best option, just in terms of maintaining his health. He's going to swing with his Lunarch Veteran too. So we're going to just block with all of my Bloodbat tokens just to take her out. Again, that was really my strategy there, because we can always create more, and I'm going to block his Lunarch Veteran just to kill it off with my Vampire Demon token. Getting a little bit of health from my Luminous Phantom, and you can see our health totals are actually quite similar at this point. I've been picking away at his health consistently and gaining more health from all of my tokens constantly leaving the field thanks to my Luminous Phantom. He's got another Dinatha Benalius Hope, But again, based on my last strategy of having those 4 Bloodbat tokens, I can probably do this again. Just summon more blood tokens. And actually, we've got a Preacher of the Schism that we just drew into, so that's great. And I'm going to go ahead and create some more tokens. Just draw into all 3 of my Voldaren Estates here. I'm going to go ahead and use my Tarrian's Journal to sacrifice my Bat token. Go ahead and get my Vito's abilities started. We've got a Welcoming Vampire. I'm going to go ahead and throw her out onto the field. And we're going to get 2 more Bloodbat tokens to take out his Denatha. I'm going to swing with my Bloodbat summoners, as well as my Luminous Phantom and my Vito, as well as my Vampire Demon token. And so now we're really starting to pile up the damage. He doesn't really have too much to say. He's going to use his Luminous Phantom to block one of my 4 strength creatures, so Vito. But at this point, he's really starting to lose health, and he's conceded. He really didn't have too much to say there at that point, so I totally get it. Great job, Durahine. And that's going to be it. That's my rank up. As you can see, finally getting into Gold Tier 3. And that's going to wrap up today's video. My vampires have been reigning supreme, and I've been having a ton of fun with this deck. Let me know in the comments what you thought about today's match, and what can I do to improve. Again, I want to continue growing my MTG community and improving at the game together, so your feedback is totally appreciated. I'm going to also try to continue expanding my MTG content, so be on the lookout for more theory content like my Blue Color Pie video, and match breakdowns as well about games I could have played better in the future. And of course, if you do find content like this entertaining or helpful, be sure to stick around, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well so you'll always know when I drop a new video. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have an awesome rest of your day.